computer. So it is now recording, and the other thing I wanted to do, thank you so much for reminding me, was live on Facebook, which I believe we can just set up.
Yeah, you were sounding so good. I just wanted to make sure you're recorded.
I appreciate that immensely. Thank you very much. In fact, you read my mind because I was going to earlier and forgot to ask you to do that for me. Go live anyway. Reach more people. Okay.
Yeah, I tried, but it wouldn't let me.
I hear you. All right, cool. So, like I said, we're living in a time right now when we're dealing with massive amounts of change. And the other thing, like I said, I was talking with someone earlier, the other word that came up is uncertainty. We're living with massive amounts of uncertainty. The human mind does not like, for the most part, and of course there are personalities who do, but for the most part, we don't like this much uncertainty. And so it creates stress. And what we're going to talk about today is what is that stress? How do we identify it? How can we notice it quickly and easily and early on, right? Like in the medical community, they talk about early diagnosis, right? Early recognition of a problem. Why? Because we want to eliminate it before it gets bigger. And that's what we want to do with stress. We want to recognize it early and eliminate it right then and there. Ooh, I see. Something else I need to keep an eye on. There were people waiting in the waiting room. Okay, cool. Hi guys, glad you could join us. All right, cool. So what is stress? Barbara, hey. Oh, that's what the text was. Thank you, sweetie.
I got it.
Okay, cool. All right, good. So looking at my notes here, what is stress? Well, stress is tension. Tension in the body. Now, I want you to think about a bridge. And there are pillars holding up the bridge, or maybe we're talking about a suspension bridge, which I think are so cool. And there's all of these steel cables. If everybody could go on mute so that we don't have background noise, and then if there's something you want to contribute, just come off mute and interrupt me and say whatever you want to say. Awesome, thank you. So the suspension bridge, there's all these steel cables holding up the road. There's tension in those cables. They're being stretched by the weight of the road, kind of like you're being stretched right now. Now, tension, tightness, stress, it's not a bad thing. It's just trying to figure out, I got a person waving here who's connecting to audio. I wonder what the issue is. Anyway, I don't know what to do. Okay, so if you're being stressed with this tension right now, and stress is not a bad thing, tension is not a bad thing. In order for you to actually do anything, for you to actually get anything done in life, that requires stress. That's going to require the exertion of some energy to get things done. So stress in itself is not a bad thing. It's when we hold on to it. It's when we get stuck in a position of being stressful, under stress, for a long period of time and not knowing how to get out of that. That's what we're going to fix here today. Tension, where? Anywhere in your body. Absolutely anywhere. In your feet, in your legs, in your stomach, in your abdomen, in your chest, in your lungs, in your neck, shoulders, back, forehead, back of the head. They all cause pain and they propagate. So tension, stress, a pain in your foot will make its way through the rest of your body eventually. So let's eliminate it, like I said before, early. Let's catch it early and eliminate it, get it out of your body. So I just want to point out an observation about things I've already said so far. Since stress is an okay thing, we need it. We need it to get any work done. And since the issue is not being stuck in it, right? Not being stuck in that stressful state, then it's not that we're going to eliminate the existence of stress. You're going to have that through the rest of your life. What we're going to eliminate is the pain, is the negative effects of the good thing called stress. Cool? Somebody nod their head yes. I got thumbs up. All right, Cheryl, thank you. All right, good. All right, so, and I would love to, if there's anybody on like off camera and they want to be on camera, that would be awesome. All right, now, anywhere in the body. Well, there's one particular part of the body. And Doc David, allow me literary license here if I am slightly wrong, because I know that there's at least a degree of truth to what I'm about to say. There is a part of the body called the dura mater. It is a layer of tissue that surrounds the skull. It surrounds the brain, actually. It surrounds the brain. It surrounds the spinal cord. And it also covers some of the major root endings as they come out of the spinal cord. What is the purpose of this dura mater? Well, the only thing they know its purpose is right now, other than to protect what's inside of it, because it's a very tough material, other than that, the only thing we can figure out it does is it holds stress. When you feel stressed, when anything, and we're going to get into what stimulates stress, but when you are stressed, this dura mater tightens up. It constricts. What did I just say it covers? The brain, the spinal cord, major nerve endings. And so when it tightens and it puts pressure on the things it's protecting, it's restricting those things' ability to function properly. The brain actually needs to move. It actually moves with your heart rate, with your breathing. So here we have this physiological component of your body whose only purpose we know of other than protection is to hold stress. And it's doing great damage to your body when it is constricted, when it is being held tight. We talked about pains in the body, right? Yeah, I wanted to kind of do, raise your hand kind of thing, but we don't have enough faces. So I get, we do have Randall, you could raise your hand, right? So like, who gets, come off from you, tell me where in your body do you get pain when you're stressed?
Oh, my shoulders.
Your shoulders, cool. Randall, what do you got?
Probably the neck.
The neck. Anybody else want to? Ramita, you're not on mute.
On like my neck and then like the back of my head.
Yes, neck and the back of the head becomes a headache, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the way you said that. Yeah.
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 Sure. Like it happens.
Right. Doc David, you want to toss one out? Where do you get pain when you're stressed?
Neck and shoulders.
Neck and shoulders, absolutely. All right, so we don't want to live in pain. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in pain, right? I used to have to live in pain. Now, this new feature of this waiting room thing is driving me nuts. Let me get everybody, the people waiting here, and there's a chat. We're going to move on. Okay, intentional point. Okay, good. All right, cool. So, pain in the body, don't like it. And what else? What else happens when we're stressed? What happens to your thoughts?
They can't see you, but you can hear it.
I'm sorry? Okay.
Can't focus.
Ash,
What else
I'm gonna
happened?
go on mute.
Yeah, somebody not on mute and has noise in the background?
Cheryl.
Is it you, Cheryl? You got a little noise in your
Yeah,
background?
this is me.
All righty. Do you know how to go on mute?
I'm at work. Yeah, you mute me. That would be great.
Oh, all right.
How do
Also,
I-
if you are you on a cell phone or on a computer?
Oh, I'm on an iPad.
I don't know how to do it on an iPad. I will mute you for you. But you wave your hand if you want to come off mute, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at work, and so the 96-year-old has the TV on, but I'm in a different room with the door closed, so the noise should be not too bad.
Randall, do you know where the settings are on an iPad?
Yes, up in the upper right-hand corner, there'll be 3 little dots and mute.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's
Oh,
awesome.
thanks.
All right, good. All right, so moving on. The other thing that happens is our thoughts turn to things of what we don't like. We think about what sucks. I see thumbs up. Okay, yes. We think about what we hate. We think about what's pissing us off at the moment. And what does that do to our bodies? It makes the pain worse. It makes the stress worse. And it becomes a vicious cycle. And we're going to unplug that cycle today. All right, so why is it bad? Well, why is stress bad in the body? First of all, it restricts blood flow in the body. So it restricts blood flow to organs of the body. It restricts blood flow to the brain. And when blood flow is restricted, cells begin to die. Obviously, this does not sound like fun. All right? It also restricts, like I said, proper functioning of the brain. So you can't concentrate as well. I have to tell you that with the stress of, so my life before the virus began was filled with going to meetings. I was constantly on the go, constantly hopping in the car, checking my schedule, what time do I have to leave, right? And, checking my schedule, figuring out what time I have to leave, and going to places and interacting with people. All of that stopped. And yes, I'm climbing the walls. Literally, I'm like going crazy. I so want human interaction because we need that. That's something I'll go off on a tangent later and talk about human interaction. All right. Stress let's get back to stress. Causes pain, emotional pain, right? Thoughts in the mind, emotional pain, and it's the #1 killer. According to the AMA, stress is recognized as being behind 60% of all human illness and disease. Wow. All human illness and disease, even this new virus. So what can we do? What can we do to eliminate stress? #1, breathing. Breathing is your first line of defense against stress. Let's talk about recognizing your stress. We just did. Any of the symptoms, anything you feel in your body, any of those things that cause pain, be observant, be aware of what's going on in your body and notice it. Don't ignore it. The truth is you already do notice it. And when you do, you choose to ignore it. Don't do that. Notice, what was that pain? And now it's gone. I'm just going to make a mental note that I felt that pain that's usually associated with stress. I felt it a moment ago. I'm going to see if it comes back. Ooh, it's back. Ooh, look at that. So maybe I'm feeling, and now I feel it in my lungs, or I feel it in my chest, or and now my thoughts, I'm definitely feeling stressed. Yeah. Okay, what can I do to eliminate it? Now I'm going to give you a little hint on that. The more you do the things we're going to talk about to eliminate it, the lower your threshold will become. That is, right now, you might be able to handle a certain amount of stress, a certain amount of stimulus that would cause stress, and you don't even notice it. And that's cool. That's awesome. And as you begin to do things to remove stress from your life, that threshold will get lower and lower so that you will notice it sooner and sooner and eliminate it faster and faster. And you'll have the pleasure of living a life that is without stress. Okay, so back to breathing. When we breathe, and I know Doc David specializes in this, maybe you can talk a little bit more about breathing in a little bit. When you breathe in, mentally breathe in positive energy. Breathe in what is good. Breathe in joy. Breathe in happiness. Breathe in fun. Breathe in laughter. Breathe in anything that is good to you. And when you breathe out, exhale stress. In, out. Now notice that when I exhale with some degree of force. When you do that with the mental thought that you are exhaling stress, you will literally feel the stress leave your body. So put a little force behind that. You want that stress out of your body. And feel free to just keep breathing. Very relaxed, deep breath manner for the rest of today. Now, the next thing you can do is to experience relaxing energy. Actually, we just talked about that. So the next thing, okay, and the third thing, I got way ahead of myself. The third thing was that sigh, or that forceful exhale. And now we're into this next point of changing your focus. So as you're breathing and you've relaxed yourself simply because you're breathing intentionally now, then what I'd like you to do is to begin to change your focus. See, a moment before, your focus was on all those things that sucked, all those things that were wrong. The breathing has allowed you a moment of change, a moment where your thinking has the opportunity to choose, what do I want to think about next? And in that moment of choice, choose something else. Choose something that is good. Suppose, for example, I wasn't going to go straight to the virus, but let's do it. Why not? So here I am in my trailer, but I live in a 27-foot travel trailer. I love it. I'm a minimalist at heart, okay? And staying in this trailer for, well, actually, I don't think I left it for 3 days in a row last week, is too much, okay? So here I am in my trailer, and I'm in my office, which is back that way, and I'm feeling stress. I'm feeling like if I don't get out of my office and get away from my computer, I'm going to just explode, right? So what can I do? I can go for a walk around the block, which I did a couple of times. I could turn on the music. I love music. What do you love? What do you enjoy? Now, I also like sugar. Might not want to do that 3-4 times a day, but once a day, why not? Right? Treat yourself. The more the stress, the more you need to consciously do to counteract it. You're in an environment that is inherently stressful. So we must do everything we possibly can think of as often as we need it to eliminate that stress. So change your focus to what you like, to what you want. Okay, let's see. Focus on beauty, on what you want, what you like. I often quote the Bible to support my principles and my theories. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Think about the positive. Okay, next thing, seek fun. Seek fun. What can you do for fun? Okay, you can come to a workshop on how to eliminate stress and have fun. What can we do? What can you do outside? Maybe bounce around a basketball, maybe throw a frisbee with somebody you're 6 feet apart. Whatever. Find what it is. Go for a walk in the park. Find what it is that you like to do fun. Go get ice cream, right? When we have fun, we often call that recreation, right? Take a look at the word recreation. R-E, creation. Recreation. So when you play, when you have fun, you are literally Hey, Dan.
Hey.
Did you want to interrupt? You want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Okay. So when you're having fun, you are literally recreating yourself. Okay, moving on. Meditation. Yeah, let's do this. So, many people use the word meditation to talk about many different things. I don't teach meditation. I teach a relaxation exercise. And then I advise my clients that they should do this meditation exercise when we get to a certain point in our program, that they would then do it every day for the rest of their lives. And I'd like to teach it to you right now. So even those of you whose faces I cannot see, I would have to just trust that you're relaxing and that you're back with us when it's over. If you turn on your camera, please, I'd appreciate it, because I would like to be sure that everybody's back with us when I'm done. Okay, so in order to play along, go ahead and get comfortable wherever you are and sit back in your chair and relax and close your eyes. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a certain kind of breathing. We're going to take a deep breath in through our mouth, and then we're going to slowly let it out through your nose. Deep breath in through the mouth, slowly out through the nose. Deep breath in through the mouth, slowly out through the nose. Keep breathing like that. And what that breathing does is it slows your breathing rate so that you are breathing slower. And as you breathe slower, I'd like you to turn your attention to your heart. Notice your heart is beating. Deep breath in through the mouth, slowly out through the nose. Deep breath in through the mouth, slowly out through the nose. Yes, your heart is beating, and you can slow it down. Yes, intentionally slow your heart rate. Deep breath in through the mouth, slowly out through the nose. And as you slow your heart rate, you find that your body is just becoming more and more relaxed, deeper and deeper. Deep breath in through the mouth, slowly out through the nose. And as you continue to breathe like that, and as you continue to slow your heart rate, I'd like you to turn your attention to your thoughts. Notice your thoughts. They pop up on one side of your mind, drift across, and drift on out the other side. There goes one now. You don't have to interact with them. You don't have to engage them. You can simply allow your thoughts to pop up, drift across your mind, and drift on out the other side. And as you do this over time, and you practice this exercise, you will eventually be able to stop your thoughts. They won't pop up anymore until you say it's okay. And it's in that space between the thoughts where you have peace, where you are connected to peace. And so you can repeat this exercise at any time that you want. Simply get comfortable, close your eyes, slow your breathing, slow your heart rate, and slow your thoughts. So in a moment, we're going to come back to the Zoom meeting. As you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Come on back. Anybody who wants to count up, go ahead. 3, 2, at 1, full eyes open, wide awake. 3, 2, 1, wide awake. Wide awake. Dr. David. There you are, okay. Let's see. Dan, say hello, say something.
Hey, Dad.
Okay,
Can
hey
you hear
Dan.
me?
I'm sorry, what?
You can hear me, correct?
I can hear you, I can hear you.
Cool. Good.
Renee, you with us? Brittany, Ramita?
Yeah.
Yep, we're with you.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Here, Paul.
How was that?
Fell asleep.
Relaxing?
Useful.
Good, good. Relaxing, huh?
Mm,
Lets the stress out?
yeah. It helped.
Helped? Okay. Let some of the stress out. Okay. Okay, good. So where are we here?
I want to say that that doesn't take very long to do. So if you know you're going to go into a meeting and you're kind of stressed, you easily can do this for 5 minutes, and then you'd be more relaxed and probably have more oxygen to your brain and be able to function better.
Very true. Very true. I recommend doing it 10 minutes every morning. And then, yes, when you think about it, you could really go through that process in under a minute. When you've practiced it a lot and you've done it a lot, you could slow your breathing, heart rate, thoughts in under a minute.
Hey, Paul, are you going to go over like overthinking or no?
Are we going to go over, did you say overthinking?
Yeah.
We will certainly do that, yes. I'm going to write that down right now. Thank you.
Well, I know, Paul, you said to do it 10 minutes in the morning, and I'm thinking 10 minutes at night. Are you kidding? I probably would sleep better.
Sure, you can do it at night as well, absolutely. Anytime, the only reason I say morning, and actually I think I might have originally gotten that from Abraham Hicks. The principle is that by doing that exercise, it's in that space between the thoughts where we have the ability to manifest or create what we want. And then the idea is we do that in the morning, and that's one of the things I teach is how to create or how to manifest. So we do that in the morning, and then we go through the rest of our day being observant, watching for what we've manifested in the morning. So, and you can definitely do it at night as well, definitely. Yeah, all right, so quickly, let me go through a couple of practical things you can do, things you've probably heard in other places, some you may not have. Exercise. That's another thing I am so desperately missing. The gym is closed. I have been going to the gym on a regular basis for well over a decade, and the gym is closed. So I find that I don't do it as regularly as I was when it was in my schedule to go to the gym. Yet my body tells me when I had better do some exercises. And it's usually in the form of pain. And one of the best things to get rid of pain is stretching. Have you ever taken a yoga class? If not, join a yoga group right now on Zoom and just learn some of the moves. And it's those moves, some of the basic ones, that I do on a regular basis now. Whenever I feel tension, the definition of stress, tension in my body. It might be in my legs, it might be in my back, it could be in my neck, it could be in my arms, wherever the heck it is, I have this routine that I do of stretching to remove that tension from the body. Walking is good. Avoid repetitive motions. So if you're spending all day on the computer, get up and walk around. When you do, exercise your hands. Do something different with your hands. Open a jar, I don't know, go eat something. Take a walk and do this with your hands, right? Okay. Avoid the repetitive motions. Avoid heavy lifting, right? You know, that's gonna cause stress in the body. It causes stress in the back. This was an interesting one, this next one here. I had this terrible pain in my hip years ago, decades ago. And I could not figure out what it was. And I went to a holistic healthcare practitioner that I'd already been going to. And he's like, how do you get in and out of your car? I go, well, I open the door, I stick one leg in, I kind of maneuver my way butt into the seat, and I pull the other leg in. He goes, no, stop doing that. Why? You know, right? So it turns out that maneuver caused damage to my hip, to the muscles in my hip. And he said, do this. You open the door, you turn your body sideways, you sit down on the seat, and then you rotate in. You rotate your body in. That's a habit we have to get into doing. But you could try that. And for me, that got rid of that pain. So avoid motions that cause your body pain. I used to cross my legs, something I had done since I was a child. I would cross my legs and I would put one leg under the other. So this way, I would put the left leg under the right one, so the right hip was raised. This also caused pain in my right hip. Okay, and this was another thing he told me to stop doing. So again, watch for motions that you're doing that are not natural for the body, because they could eventually cause pain. Here's a good one, and I use this one all the time. When you're driving in the car, and I realize we're probably driving a whole lot less right now. So when things get better, but you can use this now. When you're driving in the car and you're stopped, either because of a light or traffic, is your foot on the brake for possibly a minute or 2 or 3? I don't know how long those lights are sometimes. Sometimes it feels like 3. But for all that time, there is tension in your ankle, in your foot, in your lower calf, and in your thighs, which will propagate its way into the back and up your spine to your neck and shoulders. you're sitting there for whatever number of minutes it is, with all that tension in your body, just because of a red light. I put the car in park. And I suggest, I offer that to you. Put the car in park. Anytime.
I just want to say we have a lot of trains, and if it's a cargo train, it could be 9 minutes. And I do put the car in park. When I go for gas and I've got cars, and I always put the car in park. At least I'm relieving myself then.
Exactly. Thank you, Cheryl. Yes. If you're driving and you're moving and the traffic allows, God bless cruise control. God bless the inventors of cruise control. Put the car on cruise. Take that stress off your body. Okay? Sit with good posture. I'm notoriously bad at this. Sit with good posture. When we sit with bad posture, or standing also. You want to hear what good posture is for standing? All right? I got this out of a book. Okay, so you stand with your heel, the heel of your feet, against the wall. So your heels are touching the wall. Your buttocks is touching the wall. Your shoulders are touching the wall, and the back of your head is touching the wall. Try that later. It will probably be very uncomfortable right now. And yet, here I was at a part of that, particularly the back of the head part, okay? That's keeping the neck straight, up and straight, which I don't do as a regular basis. And I'm in a networking meeting. I was in a workshop, an event, live and in person. And it's a 5-day event or something. And it's only day 2. And my neck is killing me. The tension, the stress in my neck was just extremely painful. And friend of mine, he's like, well, I can see why. I'm like, oh yeah, smart aleck, go ahead, why? And he's like, because your neck's not straight. I'm like, oh really? And he takes my head and he just pushes it towards my back. And it's like, so how's that feel? I go, oh, better. And I consciously kept it like that for the next 4 days with no pain. No pain. All it had to do was move my head 2 inches and all that pain was gone in my neck. Cool. We're almost at the end of my script, and then we're going to have David talk with us. And then we're going to get back to questions and other stuff like that. Pain release. So let's say you got pain in your neck or shoulders or back or legs, right? And it hurts. And you don't know what to do about it. And you're trying to ignore it. First of all, that's the wrong thing right there. Don't ignore it. We have to do something about it, right? Pain is a signal. It's a message from your body that something's wrong, and what's wrong is tension. Trapped tension. So I tell this joke, especially when I'm on stage. Are there any doctors in the audience? Well, there is Doc David, and he's good. He's cool. Okay, other than that, okay, good. So I've come to the conclusion that all doctors are sadistic. They like to inflict pain. How did I come to this conclusion? Well, it's from experiences. Every doctor I've ever gone to, when I've gone with a problem, including every holistic healthcare practitioner, they have always pressed on some part of my body and asked me, does this hurt? Clearly they're sadistic. And at the same time, they were teaching me a valuable lesson. You see, when we have pain trapped in the body, one of the things you can do to release that trapped tension, is to apply more pain. So let's say you have pain in your neck. I'm going to say we have a pain, maybe a tension, headache, occipital bone right here, and I just feel all this pain right here, right? And maybe I could feel some in my shoulders and my neck. What can I do? The first thing I can do is to find the exact location of the worst pain. So I might say, well, it hurts up here, all the way up here. So I'm going to take this one finger and I'm going to press right there. Okay, I can feel how much that hurts. And now I'm going to move down a 1/4 inch and see if it's more. Nope, less. Go to the right a 1/4 inch. Go to the left a 1/4 inch. Go up a 1/4 inch. See if it got worse. Got worse? Good. Go a little further from that spot. Keep moving a little bit at a time until you find that spot that is the absolute worst pain when you press on it. Any other spot would be less. And then, see, I'm sadistic. Press on it as hard as you can. As much pain as you can tolerate for a few minutes. All right? In fact, as you do that, don't just press. Get the camera right. Don't just press in. Press in and move your finger in a slight circular motion. This will allow the tension to dissipate out of that spot in the muscles. And as you do that, that pain that you're tolerating for a few minutes, that you could let go if it was too much, it's going to dissipate. And when you take your finger away, it will be largely, if not completely, gone. And you can do that with pain areas, particularly shoulders, neck, back sometimes, if you can reach it. Okay? Very amazing technique. Oh, by the way, while you're pressing on it and the pain is terrible, breathe through the pain. Short breaths will help you breathe through the pain. Anybody who's dealing with chronic pain, chronic persistent pain, I know Doc David can help you. I can help you with hypnosis. We can also find out what the emotional basis of that pain is and get rid of that. And lastly here, the thing that causes emotional stress are negative thoughts. You see, when you have emotional pain, you're in a form of pain that is coming from being pissed off, being angry, being depressed, being sad, being lonely, being, you fill in the blank. All right? That's an emotional pain. We can change that. You can change that. See, change what you're thinking about. That comes right back to change your focus. Comes right back to find fun. Right? If it's deeper than that for you, let's talk. Because we can get to it and change it as well. And now I would like to introduce, and as far as I know, I did not receive an actual introduction that I'm to read, but Doc David Finsterly, my very good friend for, gosh, what's it been, about 6 years, when I was still in tremendous pain with neck and back and shoulder pain, Doc David showed me a magical device called the Scanar, and thanks to that, I no longer have any of that pain. So with that, I'm going to introduce my good friend, Doc David Finsterly.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Hey, I'm energy medicine doctor. People ask what kind of doctor am I, and I usually say not a very good one. And part of that is because I retired, I guess, a little early and kind of did something that a lot of people would love to do, sell the company and then go sailing for about 5 years. And that was a blast. And you know what? I wouldn't recommend it. Recommend it if you have a purpose. But I kind of wandered around and I got off from my purpose and what I'm really here to do. And I became fat and more stupid, and that wasn't a very good thing. So I'm not a very, but we're better. We're back. We're having fun. And one of the things that that Paul was talking about was a device which is called a Scanar. And that's something that came from Russia, which helped him. But one of the other things that I would love to talk about is something called a chaos shield. Are you guys concerned about a lot of this new chaos electromagnetic field stuff that's going out there? And we're hearing more and more of that. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people who are like ultra sensitive. Some people call it, you know, very empathic. You know, you swear to God, you go to Walmart and you're reading everybody's thoughts and they're not very nice sometimes. You know, like I want to get out of there, or, you know, whatever. So, but there's a device that came over from Russia that is absolutely brilliant, and it's a blanket. And Paul, can you play that video? And I'm going to share with you a little bit about it, because boy, if you're, do any of you sleep on mattresses which still have springs on them? Okay. Can you, will that work, Paul? Can you play that?
Yeah, you want the Chaos Shield demo? Is that the one?
Yeah, that would be the easiest. I think that will give a good background and also a demonstration of what this does. On this demo, it's called an acoustometer, and it measures the different types of EMF frequencies, everything from Wi-Fi to the 4G to the now 5G, and let's see if that plays.
Can you see my screen?
Hi, this is Dr. Wayne. Can you turn it up, Paul?
Yeah. You know what? No, it's at max volume.
Well, it is now.
Yeah,
You
okay.
did do it higher. Oh boy. On your computer, can you take a look at putting that one up higher for your speakers? Sometimes that will do it.
This is max volume.
Oh, okay. It's not going to work then.
Sorry.
Or I can try it on mine to see if it's any better.
Give it a shot. Let me see if I have to make you host. Well, first of all, I got to stop sharing. And then, there you are. Let's see if I can make you host. Host. I don't think I need to make you host. You can share your screen. Share your screen. There you go. There you go.
Well, let's see if this is a little better.
Hi, this is Dr. David Gawain, and
Can you,
I'm going to show you an acoustometer. An acoustometer is a way
is that any louder?
measure the amount
Not
of
for me.
fields that's in this case, a bedroom. And it's actually showing what type of fields from 200 megahertz up to 8 gigahertz are going on.
Huh, okay.
And here we just turned it on. And when this gets in, it's yellow here, and then it gets into the red, as you can see. That means there's a lot of EMFs going on. And in this case, people sleep in this room. And how can we protect ourselves from that EMF type of radiation? Well, got a way to share how to do that in a second. So you can hear it. It's taking these EMF and putting it into a way that we can now hear it. And now I'm going to do, now you see it, now you don't. So to give you an idea, this is the protective shield that we use that some of us even sleep with. Every day I wake up in my blankie, which shields the body from this type of EMF. So I put that around, and what happened? Not hearing the sound whatsoever. So now you hear it, or then you heard it, now you don't. Now I open it back up, and now we can do that. Now some other people ask, well, what about some of the other cloths that are around them? You know, is my cotton shirt, is that going to protect me? Well, here's a wonderful cotton shirt. I'm putting that around, and as you can tell, there's no reduction in the EMFs right here at all. And yet, when I put the protective energy blanket, close it up, now you're not hearing it at all. So, heard it, now you don't. So, what we're just showing is how protective and reflective, in this case, these new ramps are. This is Doc David Gawain. Until next time.
Well, is that back on me now?
Not yet.
I have no idea how this cornerstone.
Up at the top.
Ah, there we go.
There you go.
Cool. Could you hear that at all, Paul?
A little bit. A little
Okay.
bit. You can hear it.
You could hear at least the distortion. What it is you heard the noise, and then you heard when the wrap went around it. Well,
Yes.
the head, neck, and shoulders are really big. You've heard of that, the 80-20. 20% of the population are causing 80% of the problem, or 20% of what we do creates 80% of our income, or 20% of the population own 80% of the country, or 80% of the problems are caused by 20% of the people, So do you know what I mean by that? Boy, I can't think of it. He was an economist from Italy, Peroni. I think it's Peroni or something like that. But the head and neck is the 20% of the body. When we can actually stop the chaos from going into that area, tremendous shifts happen for people. So this came again out of a Russian space program. I just happened to put pashmina and silk over the materials, make it a lot more beautiful, have them for men too, based out of nice denim. But you put it around your neck, and the immediate thing, especially if you're an empath, is the first thing happens is your muscles relax, and you're like, oh. In fact, just doing that, I'm so sensitive, even though I'm not around a lot of EMFs as much as I was, it kind of goes down. Now, the other thing about what these wraps do very unusually is they give a reflection back to the body. One of the biggest issues that's going on is that we're not in nature. We're not in coherency very much anymore. And when that happens, our bodies don't have the ability to know what's chaotic or not, and actually how to, what's the term, make a difference with knowing that difference. But if you can put something around you which stops the EMF chaos, the body then gets a reflection back of itself, and it makes changes. So in the practice that we had up in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Canada, and Boulder, Colorado, I've had practices all over the country, but in Canada, we did a lot of thermography. So a patient would come in and we would actually do thermography, head, neck, and shoulders, actually the whole body. And we would see where the hot spots were. Then we would put a blanket around them. And literally in 20 minutes, we would take that off and then do a new picture. And the thermography totally changed. The hot spots got cooler, the cooler spots got warmer. And it was amazing, the actual shifts in the body. Now, the other phenomenon is, do you know any people who have any autoimmune disorders? Autoimmune is a real interesting one because the body isn't even recognizing who itself is. That's the whole point of autoimmune, right? Our immune system isn't recognizing ourselves, and it's then creating, going against itself. Well, one of the phenomenons that we would have, and this happened, of course, in Russia for over 40 years, but when Arena, Dr. Arena brought it back here, is we had to tell our autoimmune patients, hey, start at 5 minutes and then go to 6 minutes and 7. And usually when someone broke to 30 minutes, so much changed. Now, what am I talking about? Well, if the body can't recognize itself, it's kind of like you've been in a cave for a long time and your hair's all friggin' messed up and crazy. And then all of a sudden you give that person what? You give them a mirror and it's like, whoa, it's a major shift. So we would put the blanket around them, and it was quite interesting. The first 4 or 5 minutes are like, oh, this feels good. And then all of a sudden they get very agitated. And then after 30 minutes, that agitation would completely stop. But until they worked up to there or broke through, it was interesting. And after they did that, it was amazing how their rheumatoid arthritis tremendously would shift, how other aspects of their own autoimmune would change. And it was as simple as having their own reflection of who they are, so the body can now make a change within that from that reflection. And again, we're
David?
not doing that. Go, yeah.
Can you put your contact information into the chat?
Yeah, I can do that. Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you have like another minute or two you want to wrap up, or?
Yeah. I had a good story, and then all of a sudden, it kind of got flown out.
Well, I want to go back. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But with these, what we now call them as a chaos shield, it's a tremendous way when you're in public, when you're very much going out and about, especially in the old days, you'd go to the movie theater or whatever, and you're cold or whatever, it keeps your body very, the temperature very even. In fact, if you wore this in direct sunlight, the sunlight will not go through and emanate to the body. So it's actually very cooling in our summer heat if we're outside with it for less than 20 minutes. It's quite an interesting phenomenon. The original blankets were from Russia, and they were very heavy and not very good for the Florida market at all. So that kind of got changed. But yeah, I'll put that contact info, because you're going to talk after I do. I'll do it then. All right.
Exactly. I was going to go back now to
the other thing is
question.
we have blankets as well as having these beautiful wraps. But it's a powerful way to protect against a lot of this chaos, give your body a reflection. And here's a quick thing. Now, being a naturopath, you kind of wonder this. To pee or not to pee in your bathtub is the question. So the question is, I'm going to ask you guys, do you let it fly when you're in the bathtub, or do you make sure you pee outside and then get in the bathtub and never pee? Okay, so
We'll go with the latter.
It's a rhetorical question, but let me just share with you how your body was created. Your body was created is after the 3rd or 4th week, almost all the amniotic fluid is pee and shit. Your pee and a little bit of poop, because you weren't ingesting fluid, you weren't ingesting anything but the fluids from the amniotic sac. And that information, when it's on your skin, gives tremendous feedback. I remember as a naturopath, I learned about this the hard way when one of my patients who I saw who had horrible athlete's foot and fungal on her feet. And when I saw her feet were put in a bag of piss. And I was like, what are you doing? Well, she was working with another naturopath who was brilliant. And she said, hey, you won't believe how much after my 2nd treatment, how much better my feet are and how much the skin is softer and everything. Here, you want to see? And I'm like, no, honey, I don't.
David, let me jump in there and let's transfer back. Thank you for that. By the way, I can tell everybody that the blankets and the wraps are awesome. They do exactly what he says. They improve your health by reflecting your own energy back to you and actually translating it a bit so that you've got positive energy coming back to strengthen your body and your mind. It's an awesome thing.
And the other thing it does, it helps the energy of a person accumulate. So especially with an older person, let's say they're in a nursing home, they need to be more protected, but their energies now are reflected back to them and they get a lot more positive outlook. We call it the 5 Gs.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All right. So we're going to go back now to Ramita's question. And if anybody else has any questions, feel free to jump in here. But Ramita asked about overthinking. So yeah, when we get into overthinking, we kind of, when we get into overthinking, the mind gets into a loop, right? You ever get into this loop, mental loop of like this thought leads to that thought, leads to that thought, leads to that thought, back to the first thought. Right? And your mind kind of goes in this circle. And that's really, is that the overthinking you're talking about, Ramita?
Yeah, I am.
It is. Cool. All right, good. So one of those thoughts, actually probably several of them, are coming from a disempowering belief. A belief that you have about whatever the situation is that is not giving you strength. It's not feeding you and empowering you. It's more a belief that's beating you up. And that belief leads to more thoughts. And those thoughts trigger the same belief that leads to the same thoughts. And so now you get in this loop. Right? Tell me if I'm still on track here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So what do you do about that? The thing to do is to break the loop. To say, okay, so you begin to analyze and take apart what's going on. Can you give me an example of something you've overthought about recently?
I guess like grades or just kind of like my business and not knowing what's gonna happen to it during these times. Sometimes like that can be a little bit stressful.
Yes. Okay, cool. Let's do the business. Okay, so because I think a lot of people on the call can relate to that right now. Here we are, we have businesses. We had a plan for our businesses. We were going about our business, I wanted to jokingly say minding our own business. And then everything, the rug got pulled out from all of us, right? The rug just got yanked out. We're all laying on our backs, feet up in the air, and it's a whole new game. It's a whole new game. And we can look at this with fear. Am I gonna survive? Am I going to be able to build the business back? Will I be out of business? Will I have customers ever again? We can come from fear, or we can come from certainty. If we come from fear, that's disempowering, right? That's something that steals our own ability, our ability to succeed, our ability to act with confidence. Instead of coming from fear, decide what you want. This is what I want. When all this is over, or even before it's all over, I'm going to start marketing to people about this, and I'm going to come to them about that, and then I'm going to do this program, and this is what's going to happen when I do this program, and I'll be making lots of money again. Now, is that going to work out exactly the way you created? No. And that's okay. It might have some twists, some turns, some unexpected events in the process that you were not aware of. And that's all okay too. The difference is that in the latter case, you're coming from a position of power, from self-empowerment. You're coming from the position that I declare what will be. And I'm willing to change that. I'm not stuck on what I declare. But anything that I'm going to create to be for me is going to be good. Right? It's going to be what I want. It's going to be beneficial to me. In fact, it's one of the things that I teach is how everything we create is beneficial to us. So how do you get out of fear? The way you get out of fear is really to tell the truth about, and you have to get into the specifics. You have to look at, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid I won't survive. Well, that's a lie. You've survived up until now. We can assume you'll survive going forward. And you know what? If you don't, it doesn't matter. you won't be here to see it. So just assume you're going to survive. Just assume it. And with that assumption alone, declare what you want. That help at all, Ramita?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Most welcome. Are there any other questions? Are there any other topics? I mean, how you can all come off of mute. You know, how was this today? Beneficial? Are there any other topics you'd like us to talk about going forward?
It was excellent. Thank you so much. Very interesting. Very helpful.
You're most welcome, Brittany. Thank you.
Yeah, I love the breathing exercise. I'm gonna do that before bed for like 10 minutes.
Excellent.
I'm going to do it several times throughout the day. Not to fall asleep during work.
Barbara, are you trying to say something?
Hey,
Hey,
sorry. I just wanted to say it was really good, Paul. Very interesting. Thought it went very good. I've got notes, and I would love to go over them with you for if you just want to have my input one-on-one. I would love that, but it was
Sure.
excellent.
awesome. Thank you. Yes, we'll talk soon. Yes.
Yes, cool.
I agree with Barbara. The information was wonderful. And I think that exercise you gave us, the little meditation, is such a gift. And I want to thank you. I'm very grateful for that. Very nice.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Are there any other topics you'd like us to discuss going forward?
So I think stress is a big.
Yeah, let's see what next month holds here as we go forward. We might do another one on stress again. But we should definitely keep this going. If there's people you know, people you work with, associate with, who, and now that you know what stress looks like, right? You know, you look at them and you go, oh my God, they are under stress. You know, they're like going to explode all over me, right? Well, first, have compassion on them, because you can totally understand what they're going through. And then next, tell them you know somebody who can help, because that stress is killing them. If there's no more questions and no more comments, I'm going to pretty much end the meeting a little early here. I want to thank you all for being here today.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes,
Thank you,
Paul.
Paul.
It's awesome.
Very much appreciated.